Hello, hello. How you doing, Will?
I am doing most excellent.
That's awesome. Considering the change of weather, a little cool out.
Kind of hurt my back here a little bit last night, but music will get you right out of that. As soon as that first beat drops, you're like, oh, my back don't hurt no more. Ready to dance.
Yeah. So what kind of, let the people out there know, what kind of music you play?
Well,
What's your...
I like to consider it kind of like a hillbilly punk stuff. But I don't know, everybody else considers it crap. We do what makes us feel good, and
Yeah.
I do. I mean, I think the guys do. They seem to have fun.
I mean, you're talking about like hillbilly punk and stuff like that. You ever heard of a band called Jason and the Scorchers?
I have not, but I'm going to check them out.
It's, they consider them like cowpunk.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they play like a punk rock country.
Yes, I dig it. I guess ours kind of leans more towards a hippie vibe, where we kind of are not scared to take a good 3-minute song and make it 8. You know what I'm saying?
Little jam band type stuff.
Let's put a couple more solos in there. As long as they ain't on the bass, I'm cool with it. And if you want to feel inadequate on the bass, listen to Slow Ride by Fall Guys. Dude, I don't know what he's playing.
He's all over the place, huh?
He's good. Like Paul Remy up on that bad boy.
Paul pretty good, ain't he?
He's damn good.
Yeah. I know he was on, I think the second episode.
He's a bad boy on the bass.
Yeah. Have you heard his
Yes.
solo record? It's really good.
Yes.
It's
He's
really-
good. He's good. I love Paul.
He's got a hell of a voice, too.
Yes.
And he can scream.
I can't wait to see the Dan Haters come back. Little plug for the Dan Haters. Everybody likes Dan Haters. Hit Paul up. Tell him we're here.
Paul, I like Paul. He's pretty good. And I have Brent Beaver on. I don't know if you're familiar with Brent.
Yes. Brent was kind of, I guess when I was growing up back in the late 1900s, Brent was kind of like a little local legend there where I was from. And then with Epitaph back in the day.
They hit pretty hard.
Dude, they were badass, man.
Well, there was back in the 80s and stuff when they came out, there was maybe a handful of type hard rock, heavy metal bands back in that time.
And at that point, they were kind of a little ahead of the curve on that stuff around
especially,
here.
Yeah. And they play pretty good. You know, he's real good. You know, he can do all that noodling and stuff like that.
I can remember going and watching Glass Onion back in the, I guess that would have been the Mariah days.
Yeah.
Played you up in the front in the window and shit. Like when you walked up, you seen the back of the band as you walked into the venue, and you're like, hey, I know these dudes. That's Eldon on the damn drums.
That dude there hit hard.
Yes, he was a very good drummer, but he was a little hot-headed. A little bit. Had a short temper. But
we...
damn good drummer, man. He had a stage built in his house. Like, over there on Sparkersville.
Yeah.
He walked in the front door. It was his living room, and over in the corner there was a big stage built. I went over and played a couple times back in the day. It was a little wild.
That was crazy.
A little wild over there.
That was crazy.
Yeah, a little wild for me. It got a little crazy for me.
Yeah, because me, Eldon, we graduated together.
Yes.
You know.
He was like an Eagle Scout.
Yeah.
I mean, God bless him.
He's a good dude. I mean, but what kind of gear do you play with?
I
like your bass and amp. And
I like the a Fender bass. I've got my Fender bass that I got now, and then I've got another one that's it's a Fullerton, but it's basically the Fender style. I think it's made by the same person.
Like a precision bass.
Yes, mine's a jazz bass.
Okay.
And then I run it through a old ass, like 80s, late 1900s Fender bass cab.
Yeah.
With, I think I'm on like the 3rd or 4th speaker because I like to hook pedals to them that shouldn't really be hooked to them sometimes. And guys in the band don't really like them pedals sometimes, but man, it makes interesting sounds at points where there shouldn't be interesting sounds.
It reaches out there.
It's like an AT&T bass. It'll reach out and touch somewhere.
But yeah, I mean, I think bass sounds pretty good running through a big old Marshall cabinet with pedals and stuff.
Dude, it just depends on what you're wanting to hear. And in my opinion, depends on what you're wanting to hear and what is the other guys are playing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you got somebody playing clean ass guitar, you don't want to bring a big fuzzy. But if they're playing fuzz, I mean, why not fuzz the bass up a little bit?
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, let Zakk Wylde get involved in your pedal.
Maybe you hit harmonics on your bass.
They're like some of the sweetest deals that I like is when you play the same note but in 2 different octaves, kind of dance it back and forth a little bit, makes it kind of it lets, in my opinion, I don't know, I could be completely wrong with this, maybe it's just my hearing, but I think it lets the guitar player, and if you got a guitar player that likes to run, which I've been blessed in my musical endeavors to surround myself with great musicians. From the freaking beginning with Scott Butterball to now with Stacy Burns. I mean, all the guys in between have always been great musicians to where they're not only willing to help me learn, but
makes you a better bass player.
It lets you have a little freedom to maybe not be as precise as other people are, but as long as you keep the backbone there for them and let these guys roll, man. No one even sees you on stage anyway, man. Like,
they're too busy looking at them.
Yeah, they're looking at the guitar player, or Jay Wiles, the dobro, you know what I mean? Like when he was, or Matt Adams on the Mando, you know, they're not looking at the bass player. I mean, as pretty as I am, they still wouldn't look at me.
Makes no sense to me.
I can't figure it out.
See,
I think they just brought me for the looks.
See, the funny thing is, I remember you when you actually had short hair and clean face.
I'm talking about them days, man.
Actually, it hadn't been too long ago.
Dude,
well, about 15 years ago.
Becky popped a picture out from, I think, 2004, something like that, 8. And I had short hair and just like a little soul patch or something, man. I was like, who the hell is that guy? Are you sure? Who are you with, Becky? That's not me.
It's a stranger.
Guy.
I mean,
and then his hair wasn't gray neither. It was like brown. Like, damn.
You're clean cut and
yeah. Where'd all that gray come from?
Lawyer type.
Sure. Yeah, I will defend myself. Don't say a thing.
Just keep it straight.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up, lawyers. There's like actually the I think dope lawyers, and their thing is to shut the F up. If you get it pulled over, shut the F up.
Yep.
And they can defend you then, but I assume if you say anything, excuse me, we can't defend you then.
You're pretty much.
Yeah, we can't defend you then.
Pretty much.
Yeah, don't burn yourself, man. So I've been living by that rule, except for in music, because I cannot shut the F up in music. Like, I don't give a damn if I ain't even the lead singer. I'm going to get in there in between every song and talk to the crowd.
Yeah.
And I learned that shit from Mojo. I watched Mojo play, and I noticed that his crowd interaction, for you that don't know, it's Joe, okay, Mojo. And his crowd interaction is great, man. I mean, like, their music is awesome. I think the first time I seen him was with Little Bohemian, and their music was off the chains, but his crowd participation level was out of the park, man. I mean, seen him do everything from coming out like the Grim Reaper with pizzas and making a pizza pot and shooting pizza slices through the crowd to, you know, coming out like fat woman wrestler, and he was like being cradled by her like a blow up thing. Like, off the chains funny stuff. But then the music delivers too.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, I just got to see a great musical thing. And it was very entertaining to watch also.
Yeah.
Kind of like Kiss. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not to diss on Kiss, but I'm in the Kiss Army, by the way. Got my badge and all that stuff. But they're not the greatest musical band ever, man. Oh, but they bring the show.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Gene spitting blood and flames, and
it's a lot of boom banging July 4th.
Yes.
Every concert.
Yes.
Every concert.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The entertainment value outweighs the more musical performance.
Yeah.
Even though they've got some pretty decent songs, minus that disco album.
Believe it or not, that's one of my favorite records.
It was a good one. It was a good one.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
The old Dynasty.
It was a good one, but they kind of sold out on that one a little bit. I mean, when you just thought Kiss couldn't sell out no more, they come out with that one.
I mean, they've been selling that stuff since the 70s.
I can honestly remember as a child, I think it was on a Saturday morning, got to sit down in front of the TV and watch Kiss Phantom of the Park.
Oh, yeah.
On TV.
Yeah.
From Kings Island. Right from Kings Island, Ohio, man. And it wasn't until later in my life that I learned that Ace was so high at the time that he done none of his voice.
Yeah, I know.
He done all the stuff.
Yeah.
But when it was time to put the voices on, they couldn't get a hold of Ace. He'd done taken the money and went and got high. So they got another guy to come in. So, Ace's voice is not him.
And you watch it now, it's like, man, that movie's horrible.
Oh, it's terrible. But I'd still watch it again today.
Oh, yeah.
Now, like, if you had it, I was like, yeah, that's it. That's it. Get the popcorn. Get the popcorn.
Because I remember you posted something up on Facebook about where you guys were at the Majestic Theater.
Yes.
Can you explain?
I love that place.
Yeah. Can you explain a little bit more about the whole thing going on with that?
The experience you get down there is, it is a student thing for the Rec W, where instead of them just doing recording the stuff that they do at the shop in Masseyville, they're branching out into the video and the production side of it, where you get to more life experience, where it's not just in the studio. You got to set this shit up on stage and make everything happen. And they bring the students in too. The students set everything up.
Yeah.
And you go down there, they set everything up. You just roll your equipment in like you would at a gig, and they set everything up. And then up in where the cameras used to be, you know what I mean? They have new cameras. It's filming everything. Couple different angles, and it's all about the students. I mean, you know, some performances are a little better than others, and everybody tries to bring it, but it's a learning experience for everybody there. And it obviously helps the bands too, because they get a little bit of time on the air, and you get to play in a very nice venue. I mean, that place has been here since the late 1800s.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, it's old. And it's a very nice venue, a little old, like I said, but just don't fall off the stage and you'll be good. Yeah, just won't walk too close to the front. When the lights start hitting you in the face, back up.
So it's a pretty good experience.
It is a great experience. I would suggest anybody that could do it, if you're in a local band or whatever, reach out to them, because they are always looking for people to play.
Yeah.
Because they do the thing every week or whatever. And
so you got to go through the Masseyville?
I think we went through John Truman. John
Truman?
Yeah.
I got to say, it sounded really good.
I played there with Evan Brown and played there with the Throwbillies, and the Moss Harvey played there one time, and every experience was great.
Yeah.
The people are awesome, and they make it... they actually help you with the professional level of getting on stage on time.
Yeah.
Stop messing around, get on stage.
Yep. That's how it should be.
It's the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. And a lot of times people take that for granted when you're playing locally, and like, we're supposed to start at 7. It's 7:15. We'll just play a half hour late. No, man, people want to hear you at 7.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I'm not the most punctual person. But on shit like that, I can't make it. I get there early. Get there early so I can get drunk beforehand.
You think that place is haunted?
I believe yes. And this is my story. Okay.
Sticking with it?
This is the story. Okay, so we get there. I was playing with Moss Harvey. Mm-hmm. This would have been like the second time I think we'd played there. And I rolled my bass amp in, and when I was coming in the back door, come into the stage area, and there was like a crack in the woodwork, and there was a freaking penny down in it. I seen that penny down in there, and I reached in, pulled this bad boy out, stuck it in my pocket, and then I rolled my bass amp over, set my bass up, and I was like freaking half hour early, so I had time to kill. And I was like, hey, am I allowed to go up to the top floors? And dude said, yeah. He said, it's a little sketchy up there. Just don't touch nothing and don't break nothing and shit. And I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. So me and Billy Mitchell go, and once you go up to the second floor, is where they got the camera stuff. Mm-hmm. Then there's one more floor. And when you get up to the top, there's like a little waiting room, and then there's like a dining room with like a Masonic stuff on the walls.
Really?
And then there's a ballroom. Was like a dance floor, but it's marked off for basketball court stuff and whatnot. And I'm like, this is a freaking basketball court on the third floor of this building. How cool. And there was a guy came out of the back room, and he's like, I was like, who the hell are you? He's like, I'm working on the electric. He's like, you want to see something really cool? Check out the locker room. So we walk in, and you walk into this little room, and there's a shower stall with like a wooden, or I don't know, wood or old metal head hanging right over it. I mean, it looked like from like the 1800s. And you go around that wall, and there's a toilet, and the top of it is a wooden box. Yeah. Is where the water came in. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, a wooden box, and it's still here. You know, that's old as shit.
Yeah.
So we go back down and talk to the guy. Everything's cool. We go back down and turn on, and we start to play the first song. And there's like feedback coming from somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I'm standing there because, you know, it ain't me. Why is the bass going to be feeding back or what? And they troubleshoot everything, and it's me. And I'm like, well, I don't know, man. I was like, maybe it's the cord. Maybe it's the cord. Mm-hmm. So I take my cord, unplug it, get another cord out, plug it in. Same thing. And I, like, played a little bit to see if it would come out of it. I don't know what I was thinking, and all of a sudden you started hearing through the amp like a freaking basketball game being like on the radio. And I'm like, I looked at the sound engineer that was standing there, and he gave me the like, I don't know what's happening. And he said, let me get you another cord. At this point, is it really going to change anything? Unplugged that one, I plugged the other cord in. It done it for a split second and then quit. And I said, we just got haunted. We just went up and seen the basketball court. And then they just told us a little bit about the last game that was up there through the bass amp. And that dude to this day says that it's never happened again, never happened before, and he don't know how a radio station came through my bass amp, because it wasn't wireless or nothing. It was hardwired and everything. So yeah, I believe the hauntings are real.
It was the penny.
I still got that penny at the house. I put that bad boy in a little cup.
It is the penny.
It could be, man. But, you know, and that was the thing. Why was that penny there? Why hadn't someone else seen it is what I thought.
Yeah.
my drug-addled mind half the time. But yeah, I thought that penny had something to do with it. So I still got it at the house in a shot glass right by the bed.
Is that a safe place for it, though? I mean,
well, it's got like a guitar pick. And,
oh, we're covering it?
Yeah, like a bunch of stuff in it, like a guitar pick, a capo on the side or something.
That's fun. That's funny.
No capos at my house. Someone leaves them. Can't use that.
I've tried those capos. They're like, man, they just don't sound right to me.
Can't. I was at...
Unless there's a certain way you have to tune your guitar for it to actually...
You're basically just drop tuning.
Yeah.
Except for you're dropping like 2, or whatever.
Or wherever you put it.
I seen a dude in an open mic one night. Stacey Skaggs was playing and forgot her capo. And this guy said, I'll hold it. And I was like, I don't think this guy's like, he's signing up for it, man. And this dude went up there and barred like the 3rd one down or whatever and held it through 2 songs. I mean, he eventually had to put his other hand up.
That's dedication right there.
It's like, ain't no one got a rubber band and a pen around here? MacGyver could have figured this out way easier.
Easy.
Yeah, I got a stick of gum. Stick of gum and a paper clip.
What do you think is probably one of the wildest shows you ever played?
I would say I know
I'm probably opening up a can of worms.
I'd say the wildest one that I was ever a part of being at was probably... Okay. The wildest one I ever played at was probably at my house, actually, at the Puke Hole. It would have been one of the Stouty Fest, I believe.
Yeah.
And
is that where you held it?
We had the last 2 or 3 Stouty Fest at the house before they kind of dissolved out. And then we had the We Will Go Ons for a couple of years. And it just eventually got, the neighbors they didn't like the music, man.
It's too loud.
They would put their alarm off, send their house alarm off all night. And when you was in there listening to music, you couldn't hear that shit.
Yeah.
Only they could hear it. So it was more for, I don't know, God bless them. And they're still there. We don't have the festivals anymore. But we had a festival in the probably 2000 and something or other. And the police just kept coming because the neighbors kept calling them. And there's nothing really they can do until after like 11, which now looking back on it, we probably should have stopped the music around 11 or 12, but you know.
11 or 12?
Yeah, why not keep it going to like 1 or 2? You know what I mean? Like, everybody's into it. So we have a band there called Hell Nah. Love those guys. They're kick ass. And the cops come for like the 3rd or 4th time, and the crowd's getting a little rowdy at this point. And they're like not happy with the police shutting down Hell No, because these guys are kick ass, dude. This is bad music. And I have to go up and talk to the cops. And I tell them, like, hey, man, like, we're just getting ready to shut down, man. These guys are just getting ready to end, which they weren't, but they were then. And then I go tell them, like, hey, man, you guys got like 2 more songs. And they started playing, and I went back over and talked to the police again and told them that they're playing this one and that 1 more. And the cop said, yeah, 1 more is it. So I go back. I'm negotiating, you know, probably taking not as long as I think. And I go back and I told them, I said, just give them the sign, like 1 more, man.
Yeah.
And so they break into "You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party" by the Beastie Boys. And the cop just looked at me and shook his head like, I'm out of here. Yeah, he just walked out, got in his car and left. Like I'm done. Quit. I'm going back and turning in my badge or whatever. But that was our last song.
Yeah.
And those fellas never came back again, man. I think we scared them off, man. They got a little out there in the hills and
That ain't the hills, that's a holler.
Shit get crazy out there in the holler sometimes. You gotta holler before you ride the party.
And you did.
Yeah.
It's funny because people say, "What's the holler mean?" And so, well, if you don't know,
Yeah, you never been to the holler, man.
Yeah, you don't
Sun
know.
comes late, moon comes early.
yeah, it does too.
Like someone asked me, said, where you live? And I was like, I live back in the back of this holler where the snow stays forever. There might still be snow there from last year. Like everybody else's snow be gone. I'd be like, we're still making snow ice cream over here.
Because I tell you what, it stays colder.
It
Stays a hell of a lot colder.
got to pipe sunshine in. I can't get a house plant to grow to save my ass, man. My mom's got like house plants. She's got a room we call the jungle room.
Mm-hmm.
So many house plants. There's a waterfall in this bitch.
Oh, is there?
Yes, I ain't kidding you. My mom has a waterfall in her house with like plants and shit. It looks like like you can't sleep in there because it makes you want to pee all the time because there's a waterfall around it. But you go to my house like a half mile up the road, you can't get a house plant to grow. You get some dope plants to grow though.
On that
Not in the
note,
house.
on that note,
Yeah. Do that.
well, what do you think your main influences were when you first started playing bass? Like the fellas or bands and stuff like that that really ignited?
I'd say my main influence on playing was actually probably riding around with Dad back in the day. I mean, when I was just a youngin', listening to like Waylon and Willie.
Yeah.
And then I can remember every once in a while, probably on the 8-track, I can remember once in a while he would kick in Dr. Hook, man. And I freaking loved Dr. Hook. I still love Dr. Hook. Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, higher than a horse has hairs, baby. And I just remember hearing that music, and then when I got a little older, I wanted to play. So, of course, every kid goes out and gets them a guitar. Mm-hmm. At that time, I was kind of into hair metal, big time. I mean, you know, I'm fucking proud of that shit. Go Def Leppard. I think Brett Michaels fucking he got more pussy than Flavor Flav. Anywho.
Because he dressed like a woman. He looked like a woman.
For some reason, chicks dug it back in the day, dog. I looked like that shit back in the 80s.
With short hair.
I've been in the 90s with the line. So I went and got me a Series 10 pink guitar and learned to play like Smoke on the Water or something, you know what I mean? Like one freaking song, and realized that it wasn't really my forte. Mm-hmm. So I went with the motocross situation. Mm-hmm. I started on 3-wheelers, converted to 4-wheelers, kind of broke a few bones here and there and wrecked myself pretty good on situations. But I got a jacket for a championship one time or twice, and I realized that I needed to do something else as a hobby because racing was a little expensive and it hurt.
Bad.
Yes. So at that point in time, I was delving into the pot trade, and in those years, it wasn't quite legal. Yeah. So I found myself in federal prison for interstate marijuana trafficking. And while there, I decided I'm going to learn how to play the bass. And a friend of mine in prison with me took it upon himself and showed me the basic and chords, you know, made me learn the chords and then, or the notes, and then made me do finger progressions every day, like to get my, and by the time, I was only there for like 9 months or something like that. Like I've done like 10 years for something. Pot. Now I would have just got a smack on the wrist and told, go home. But at that time, I learned to play the bass. And when I got out, Billy had been playing in bands forever. And I was working as a janitor for a company doing cleanup for the auto shops in town at night. And Billy calls me up and says, "Hey man, they're having an open mic at the bank. You want to come and play?" Because me and him are kind of jacked around a little bit. Becky bought me a bass when I got out, like the Fullerton that I still got.
Yeah.
Sticky bass. It's got stickers all over it.
Yeah.
Punk rock as hell. And I said, "I don't have my bass with me." He said, "Well, Chucky Good's here and said you could play his bass." I said, "Okay. Who are we playing with?" He said, "Butterball." Yes. Well, yes. I'm in. Let me talk to the boss and see if I can get off a little early. Shoot over. So I talked to them. They're like, "Yeah, kick out of here." So I go over, and I can remember this is the first time I'd ever played on stage with anybody. And luckily, I got to play with Scott Butterball, and he's a great guitar player. And we go back in the safe. I can remember that you had to like walk through the safe to get to the back. And there's like a table there. It looked like mafia shit or something, like, you know what I mean? And Scott's sitting at the head of the table like the Godfather. But Billy's sitting there, and I sit down, and he said, "Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to play A and E. We'll trickle that B in there once in a while. And if you get lost, just fall back to the A and E." And he said, "If I get lost, I'll find my way back." And I'm like, "Okay." And he went out and pretty much set the rhythm. And then I just started playing that.
Follow right along.
Yeah. And he would just go off into a tangent of guitar solos and shit. And from that point, I realized, like, this ain't going to be as hard as I thought on the bass. But I knew I had to surround myself with people that could play.
Yeah.
And he taught me a lot. Scott did. I wish I could play with him again, but he lives like in the islands now or something. He's down there living the dream.
Yeah, living the life.
He's living the dream, man. He's down there on the beach.
So you think he's probably about your biggest influence?
I would say him, and then Jay Wiles and Matt Moon. I remember watching those guys back in high school. And Brent Beavers in high school. But Brent was a little older than me, you know what I mean? So by the time I really got to watch him in school, he'd already graduated and was on the bigger and better things.
Yeah.
And Jay and Matt was my age. So basically, we were in the same class. So, and at that time, Paint Valley and Greenfield had a better relationship than, sporting thing. Like, if we had a sporting event and Greenfield and Paint Valley played and it was at Paint Valley, we had a party at my house. If we had one in Greenfield, we had a party at Chippy Anderson's house. And all the people came from both schools and got along. I mean, everybody got along. It wasn't no animosity or nothing. Yeah. And watching Jay and Matt play together, back then they were playing like fucking Slayer and Metallica and, just Overkill and just heavy shit. Like, not like the bands like from Chillicothe and Courthouse that were more playing the popular shit that was on the radio. They were playing shit that you didn't hear on the fucking radio. Yeah. And when I started having the parties in the early 90s, I always invited Jay and Matt's band to come down. I think the name of their band was like, God, which one was they in at that point? And it was like something heavy. I'm sorry, guys, I can't remember it right now. But
it's all good.
And they would do Sweet Leaf. They were the only band that would do Sweet Leaf. So they got to come down every year, and Mark Parr would come down with like they practiced at his house or something. And he would come down with like an old farm truck with all their stuff loaded up on it. And looking back, it kind of looks like Jackal pulling into the Walmart or whatever now. Like the shit would pull up, like they're already set up. Like holy cow. Punishment was the name of the band. Punishment. Yes. Sung one of the hardest versions of Ain't Talking About Love I ever heard.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Put a little bit of crunch into it.
Oh my God, dude. It was like the crunchiest. Luke Collins sang for him on that one. Punishment. Look it up, guys. They're out there. And if you don't look that up, look up Pothole. That's Jay and Matt too.
So they got their stuff on like YouTube and stuff like that. And you can...
I believe so. Yes, I believe. If not, I can get you a CD. There's a whole bunch of them at Jay's house still, probably.
All right.
But yes, those guys were probably one of my biggest influences. And then I can remember the day that in the Idiot Fun Club when I'm on stage with Jay and Matt. Mm-hmm. Like, Battle of the Bands, 2013 or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm on stage with two of my biggest influences, you know what I'm saying? Thank you guys. And I'm thinking, I've pinnacled. I hadn't, but and Matt told me, I'm so happy to be playing on stage with you. Yeah. And I thought, like, dude, you don't even realize, man. You couldn't wipe the grin off my face with a sand grinder, you know what I mean?
That's pretty cool, though.
It was, dude, it was great. It was great. And like I said, I've been lucky enough to play with, like, both of those guys, Stacey Burns, Jesse Fitch, God rest his soul, was a very talented young man, and Neil Rankin, probably one of the greatest keyboard players I've ever played with in my life.
Oh, really?
And he played guitar in the Throwback Trash at first. He didn't even have him on the keyboards, you know what I mean? And I've been lucky to surround myself with so many good musicians that I'm blessed, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was a good person through life. I don't know. I like to try to be. I mean, my mom instilled that on me, that doing the other thing.
Yep.
Like, if you're not an asshole, at least some people won't be assholes to you.
Yeah. Well, they can be that.
Yes.
Just,
but
you know,
kill them with kindness is what Mom always said.
Yeah,
Kill them with kindness.
It's so much easier to be the better person.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. And I think that has blessed me through my little musical career that I've had so far. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if I would have made it as far as I did without Billy Mitchell.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's pretty good dude.
He has been one of the biggest influences because we've been friends since like elementary.
Yeah.
And he's the drummer to my bass. So when I play with him, which I play with a lot of other drummers, and it's not that. But for some reason, me and Billy know, like, he knows what I'm going to do before I do it, and I know what he's going to do before he does it, and I can tell when the changes are coming just by the tone of the drums.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's funny that you mentioned that. Was it like a month or so ago when you were here with Trevor and stuff?
Yes. He was pretty good at that too. The little change, before the change.
It was funny because, as you know, I suck at guitar.
You're not bad. Don't put yourself down now.
Because when he was drumming, because I work with him.
Right.
I said, dude, I can hear, I know when you were going to change. Then it was like,
Yes, and then that really helps when you're playing, especially for someone of my caliber, which I've been playing for a while, but I'm still learning. And if you've quit learning, then you lose it. You're a dumbass anyway because you've done stop trying.
Yeah.
But I'm still learning, and I'm grateful to be playing with Chad Stout right now because he is one of the greatest teachers ever.
Really?
He will slow it down for you and tell you, like, hey, show you a little thing. Stacey Burns is the same way. They'll just like, hey, man, like, and I don't know if it's just my hearing or what, but a lot of times I can hear it. Once they tell me, I can hear where it's supposed to be. And I don't know if it's like, maybe I've got some disorder, but I count everything in my head too. Yeah. Like, they're like, why don't you tap your foot? I'm like, oh, trust me. It's tapping in my mind. I just go with it a little bit like an autistic kid or something, but it's there, man. I got it.
It's there.
I'm probably on the spectrum, but hey.
It's funny because you're talking about, learning from people and stuff. Like, I've tried watching YouTube videos on guitar playing. Dude, it completely, maybe because I don't know if it's an odd angle or what.
Yeah, it's like, does the camera not work at your house? Or
I was like, it completely loses me. I mean, if there was someone actually sitting right in front of me, it's
Then-
like, here's how you play it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, that's easy.
Dude, I noticed, with the guy I'm playing with now, Evan Brown, great singer, awesome singer, and I had to learn a bunch of new songs, they're kind of the bass kind of walks around a little bit on some of them, and what I would do was go home, pick up old Trusty, and download the chords off of, or the notes off a guitar or whatever. Can't probably say their name.
It's all good.
And then I would see what the notes were. Then I'd listen to the song. Then I'd watch a video and be like, okay, how's this guy fitting all these notes in there? Because the bass would be all over the place. In between. It'd be like an F and C, and there's like 8 notes before you get to that C. That's like, hey,
He's here, there, everywhere.
that's not just an F and a C. Effing kidding me.
It's like, do.
I think the one that got me was really I learned this one was River of Deceit. And if you look it up on guitar, whatever, it says F and G. That's the chords. And then you look up the bass tab, and there's about 1 million notes. And you're like, well, that ain't an F, and that ain't a G. That ain't an F, and that's an F. Okay. That is.
Yeah.
So he's just, Mike Starr or whatever, he's just walking around. There's one point where he jumps down at
He's all over the place.
at the top of the neck down there, you're getting shit on, like 13th or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
hey, come on, Mike. I'm a rookie here.
Alice in Chains. So a lot of people don't realize that, But he was their first bass player.
Mike Starr, and then Mike something or other was the
Inez or something like
Mike
that.
Inez. Yeah.
He's
He's good. He's good. Damn good.
I actually like
I'd say AIC's probably one of my favorite of that genre. They got looped in with the grunge. I don't think they were grunge.
See, I have my thoughts about that. I think Nirvana just an overglorified punk rock band.
I honestly believe you are correct on that statement.
But like a lot of
Because if you look, it's mostly like 3-chord progressions and just easy.
it's all power chords.
Yeah.
That's right up my alley. But I can't. I mean, in the '80s, you got all the punk rock was pretty much stagnant as hell.
Yes.
And then
it had went dead there in the 80s.
Yeah.
90s, kind of hair metal had killed out the punk rock in the 80s.
Yeah.
Which were, I guess it was probably a good thing at that time so punk could get a resurgence.
Yes.
And that's where, Nirvana?
Yeah, well, they had their, first record, like 89, 90, or I think it was 89. That's still their best record. But anyways, then they released Nevermind, and it just exploded.
Oh, changed the fucking landscape of music.
Yeah.
Any band could get a contract, they thought.
Yeah.
Which, Pat Smear gets a bad rap on that whole Nirvana thing, man. He's there from the beginning, man, and no one says, hey, Pat Smear was in Nirvana.
Yeah.
Man, that dude was there from the beginning, dude.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't realize. I think the name of the band he was in before Nirvana, I think it was called The Queers.
I don't know. He was in a band. I know he was in another punk band too.
Sorry,
I can't remember the name of it, but okay. All of you who've never seen it, go out and buy or rent or whatever you got to do. Dave Grohl's movie, Studio 666. It will change your life.
You know, I've never watched that.
That was fucking hilarious, man. I watched it. I bought it. I seen it in Walmart for 3 for $9.99 or whatever.
Okay.
I bought this bitch along with like I don't know, Who's Your Daddy or something.
All right, I was totally wrong. He was in the Germs.
The Germs.
Before
yes.
he went to Nirvana.
Yes, yes. Like they were a total punk band.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, but I think I could be mistaken. But I think he was from the beginning, man. I think he done.
He was
He was doing like when you were watching the video for Nevermind, Pat's over in the shadows.
I mean,
playing all them leads.
I mean, honestly, he's
Probably not really, but
yeah. I know.
he's right behind that chick with the janitor with the deal. You look right on over in the dark. On over a little further.
It's off in the corner.
Off in the corner. Yes, that's where he's at.
I mean, he's an underrated guitar player, extremely.
Dude, I think he is one of the most underrated.
Yes.
He is until Dave Grohl broke out the Foo Fighters, which
Yeah.
I honestly believe. I hate to say this, man, but Kurt Cobain's death was probably the best thing that ever happened for Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
If not, he would have been the drummer for Nirvana.
Probably to this day.
And now he's Dave Grohl, man. I'm talking about a movie he made. You know what I mean? He would have done that as the drummer for Nirvana.
I mean, I like the Foo Fighters, but I only like 2 songs.
Dude, some of their shit that they don't play on the radio is better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every band's like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think one of the greatest experiences of my life playing music, or with music, wasn't actually playing, but Janie Lane from Warrant played at the bank. And it was,
Oh, he did?
Yes, and it was right after the Idiot Fun Club had started, or maybe right before, and me and my wife and Becky and Johnny Pinwell and Tish Pinwell, his wife, went, and it was a meet and greet. Like if you went early, you could meet and greet Janie Lane, get your autograph and shit. You know what I mean? It's just kind of a handshake deal.
Yeah.
So I go into the puke hole and pop a fucking Janie Lane poster off the wall from Warrant back in like 1987. You know what I mean? He's got the big ass hair and the tight pants and shit. I put it in like a little folder, little manila envelope or whatever, tuck it under my arm, and I'm waiting in line patiently. And his hot ass wife comes up and she's got to check out what you want autographed.
Was that Bobby Brown? Was that who he was married to at that point?
No. He wasn't married to it was a different girl from the video. And I opened up the manila folder and she sees the poster and she's like, oh my God, Janie. And like immediately he's like over taking a picture with somebody. Yeah. She gives him the come here. And he comes over and he looks at it and he said, brother, you come on around back. Come on behind the deal. And I'm fucking hustling back here. And he says, where did you get this poster? I said, I pulled it off the band room wall, man. He said, well, you got any questions? And I said, yes, I do. He said, well, and he could tell I was a little eager. And he's like, can we limit them to just a couple? And I'm like, the one question, Janie. And he said, what is it? And I said, out of all the music that you've made, what's your favorite song? And what's your least favorite song to play? And he said, well, that one's easy. I fucking hate Cherry Pie. Yeah. And I said, but that is the one that's the one. He said, I know, but every place I go, I have to sing that song.
Yeah.
And
They have made him millions.
that's what he said. But I think he might even but. And I said, well, what's your favorite? And he said,
Say it.
Dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking rich was his favorite song.
Oh, really?
Yes. He said, because the other ones made me that. I said, well, why the hell are you playing in the bank, man? He said, fucking contracting.
Well, it's a good contract. I mean, it got him to meet people.
Dude, I swear to God, there was probably kids there that would have never
had a chance to ever meet him.
And then they got to hear Uncle Tom's Cabin, you know what I mean?
That's the best song they ever did.
Dude, I mean, they got to hear that. And once you hear Uncle Tom's Cabin, even though it's not his favorite,
yeah,
it's the crowd's favorite.
It's our favorite.
Yeah.
It's mine.
Fuck
Anyways.
Cherry Pie. I don't even like that song. I'd rather hear Uncle Tom's Cabin.
It was fun because me and a couple of friends, we were going to the Bankers. Joey Belladonna was going to be playing there.
Right.
And for some reason, he canceled him. Oh. But, whatever. But I actually got to see him with Anthrax.
Oh, okay.
So.
Right. I have never seen Anthrax. That's one of the bands I've never seen. That's a bucket list one.
Yeah, they're...
I fucked up and never seen Tom Petty, and I ain't making the same mistake on Anthrax. If they come close and it's within reasonable price...
Yeah.
Because now, dude, concert tickets are out of... They're having a hair metal thing at the Majestic, okay?
Yeah.
I was going to take my daughter. The tickets are $65, I think, or something like that, to see 3 tribute bands. I'd pay 30, maybe pay 35. 65 is a little steep for me.
Yeah.
Especially if I got to buy 4 tickets.
That's a lot of money.
Math takes me way up there, man.
That's a lot of money. What was it? I guess, green Jello? And these other
Love
bands.
green jelly, man.
Yeah.
Jello.
Yeah,
Jelly. I think they changed it to jelly, didn't they?
Yeah, they're going to be playing up on the hill.
Really?
At the anniversary. The university and stuff.
Sweet.
It's supposed to be them and like 3 or 4 other bands. But, the tickets are like stupid price.
I think Black Hat Nation from Chillicothe opened for them one time.
I have no idea.
I believe. I don't know. One of the bands from Chillicothe. Might have been Black Hat Nation. If not, Black Hat Nation rocks. Check them out. My mugshot's on their deal. For real. I got a mugshot on their T-shirts.
Oh,
I'm the spokesperson for Black Hat Nation, and if you've never heard of them, check them out. They are. If you like heavy metal and punk, that's where you're at. Garrett is good.
Because a lot.
He's my guy.
You said like heavy metal and punk. That's where like the hardcore.
Yes.
Came from. With the meeting of they like the heavy stuff, but they like the energy of punk rock.
It's that extreme sports music, man.
Yeah.
You can't do a backflip or wreck a motorcycle to
Poison. You can.
I was gonna say Anne Murray, but
You can wreck.
that Canadian, damn it. That's why Bryan Adams playing in the background.
I like Bryan Adams.
I do too. It cuts like a knife, right?
Yeah.
Feels so right.
It's funny because the last few people I've had on here, we've talked about, like the music I used to listen to. Of course, you know me. I was listening to Slayer, Exodus,
Yes.
SOD, Iron Maiden, Motorhead. This is stuff I was listening to back in the 80s.
Motorhead was way before, man. I think that they changed the way that music was played.
Yeah.
I mean, if you listen to Lemmy's playing style, it's I don't know how to express it. It's in a style of playing that.
A guitar.
Yeah. I mean, he's, but I seen the thing where he turned his shit to make it sound like that. I mean, he had it tuned so it sounded more guitarish. It had more mid ranges or something to give it so it wasn't so low.
Yeah.
But then you got, the guitar was. You can't do that without without that guitar.
Yeah.
And
They were all in unison.
I know they didn't like Filthy Phil, and he kicked him out of the band 2 or 3 times or whatever. Well, he kept bringing him back. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, Filthy Phil. I think Filthy Phil. I don't know if it's true or not, but in my opinion, is the inspiration for Animal from the Electric Mayhem on the Muppets.
I believe it.
You know, and you look at him and you're like,
He looks like Animal.
is that the same dude? Is that the same dude?
And his interviews are funny.
That's what I said. I think it's Animal. I think they just tamed him down and put him behind Motorhead.
Dude, I'll tell you what.
And the reason why he got kicked out every so often is because he had to go with Electric Mayhem to a tour, man.
Gotta go. Because you know, when you're talking about drummers and stuff like that, you know, and like the real heavy metal and the thrash, he's the guy.
Yes. I mean,
He's the guy.
if not him, I would have to say the next drummer I would fall in line with as would be, God damn.
Because I got 2 drummers I could throw
Dude
at
from
you.
maybe Sabbath, but
I mean, that stuff was more droney type.
more like Geezer Butler was the. Yeah, Geezer Butler was more the driving force in that. So
Because you had the drummers from like Cozy Powell,
yes,
stupid good.
yes,
Because and then you had Tommy Arledge,
yeah.
who played in Black Oak, Arkansas. Then he went, you know, he played a million bands.
Cozy Powell there, I forgot all about him. Yes,
Because I think, me personally, I think that's where a lot of your heavy metal come from was the Rainbow.
yes. Rainbow was probably one of the bands that I listened to back in the day about the vocal range. Man.
Old Dio was stupid.
It's just so like you know, as a young fucking male adult, you're wishing you could sing like that, and you're trying, but
It's not.
it's not.
It's not gonna happen.
Not happening. I realized at a later age that ain't happening.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and embrace the gravelly voice and go, "Roar!" If I go with that.
Run with it. I mean, but if you listen to, it's a song called "The Light in the Black." It's a Rainbow song,
Yeah.
and it's like, dude, the whole song.
And see, a lot of people want to.
And the song's like 6.5 minutes long.
Let's say Lars Ulrich brought him into the double bass thing.
I tell you what, people will say what they want.
He did, but it's just because they were more popular.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
they
he-
got their shit from like Black Diamond and fucking, you know, fucking, or King Diamond. I mean,
Yeah,
King
I knew
Diamond,
you-
King Diamond, and like Black Sabbath and
Yeah, they got all most of their
Motorhead.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they even covered like some of their stuff
Yes,
back
they
in the
did.
day.
Yep.
And a lot of people didn't realize they were covering European bands at
Yeah.
the time, you know what I mean? Because
Yep.
it was a close-knit community there, and they weren't really hearing.
What people
Back
in
then,
England,
you had to
yeah.
get your shit mailed to you, you know what I mean? You couldn't get on your phone and download that stuff. I mean, someone had to mail you So it was a close-knit community where you had to get involved to get on a mailing list, to even get a list of stuff that you should check out.
Yeah. Tape trading.
Yeah.
I mean, we were doing that stuff back in the 80s, you know, just, you know, a group of us. It was
Yes,
like, hey,
yes.
man, I'm making a
Yes.
tape of this mixtape and stuff.
It's just from stuff from where I'm from.
Yep.
You send me stuff where you're from, and some of those bands have probably made it. I don't know.
Maybe not so much.
Pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Metallica got most of their influence from like new wave of British heavy metal bands, Iron Maiden, Saxon, you know, stuff
Maiden.
like.
I think it's the first concert I ever saw. 15 years old.
Yeah.
That ruined me. When you go see Iron Maiden as your first concert,
Yeah.
you're fucking ruined, man. I mean, like, where else are you going to see a stage show like that? I mean, I think you were there at that concert, actually. It was somewhere in time.
Yeah, the Ohio Center.
Yes.
Wasted opened up for them.
Yes.
They were loud. Like, the dude I think it was Paul Chapman did that guitar solo.
Yes,
It's
dude.
like,
It got dropped. I got dropped off out front. Me and Dummy and Troy Hamlin got dropped off out front by Kay and Jerry Bob. And then they went and like ate and probably gambled or something. Who knows what they went and done.
Farted around a little bit.
Yeah. And then come back and pick us up out front after the show. It was before cell phones, so you couldn't call them.
Yeah. Hey, your show's over.
Yeah.
Come by around 11:30.
We had like a time to be out front of the High Center.
It was funny because it was me, Weedy.
I don't even think that place is there anymore, is it?
No. That's where they have the Arnold every year now.
Okay.
Yeah, it was me, Wheaton, David Wilson, and Tim Slack.
Slack.
Yeah. There we are, cruising up.
Yeah.
It was.
What'd you guys take up? Wheaties or Z?
Yeah, took the Z. It was a lot of fun.
I got. My dad is a TV repairman. I can fix it, dude. I think he's got another one of them now.
Oh, does he?
I believe so. Yes, he's got like 75 cars. So surely one of them's over as a Z28.
I bet it should be.
He's got one. He does.
Is it silver
It's gold, I believe.
or gold?
The same exact deal, only it's gold. T-tops, the whole deal. I think it looks a little more like.
It's funny because when he got the, I think it was that 69 or 70 Dodge Charger RTSE, the orange one. We pulled out on 50. He just mad at it. But dude, we were
Light the tires up, man.
Oh,
He's
dude.
scared.
cruising. It's like, heaven. This is back when they had the train tracks right there in front of Paint Valley.
Right,
It's like, hey, you mama, slow this big son of a bitch down. He slowed it down. I went,
And we just taking this boat over this, huh?
oh my God. Our car'd fly.
Dude, I can remember he got, I don't remember which, it might have been the same one, but he got this one of them, and someone had put like air shocks on the back, jacked it all up, and they had these freaking like 60s or whatever on the back. I mean, it was humongous, looked like a Hot Wheels car, man.
Like 70 inches wide, you know?
Little skinny tires on the front, big wide ones on the back, and he backs it out of the garage there onto Potts Hill and just starts lighting these bad boys up, man. I mean, he's going, and the entire car disappears in smoke. And I'm standing there in the driveway like, is he going to come out of it? What's going on? Is the brakes locked? And all of a sudden you see the nose coming out of it, and ass end starts getting squirrely, and he lets out and shoots up the road. Neighbor woman comes out of her house. She says, hey, what in the hell is going on? I said, I don't know, I think his brake stuck or something. She said, well, I am not going to have that. I'll call the law, blah, blah. I said, hey,
I'm just staying in here.
yeah, call him. I got no dog in this race, man. So he comes back and pulls in, and I tell him, and he's like, really? Backed that bad boy back out and done the exact same thing again. And she came back out, and I just gave her the. You'll have to wait till he pulls back in and talk to him, man. I've got no control over this fool. He comes back, and I said, well, your tires are going to fucking get a little thin, bud. He said, I don't want these damn tires anyway.
Light them up.
Lit them up again. And I'm like, well, somebody might have.
He's always had.
Someone might have wanted them tires.
He's always had that rebellious side, anyways, as you know.
Yes, I've done some burnouts with him. Well, there goes that tire. I can remember when we learned. You probably was with him on one of these. In that Z28, if you backed up, if you stopped and started power braking it, only one tire would spin.
Yeah.
But if you kicked it in reverse and backed up a little bit and then put it back in drive, both of them would spin.
It's funny because I don't know if you remember, at a 80 AMX.
You're like, yes.
Because mine would do that. You put it in reverse.
Lock in the posi track or whatever it is.
Apparently, because you take off that thing, just light up both tires and just go sideways.
Yeah, it locks in like the posi track or something. I did not know that until Weedy taught me a lesson on how to do a burnout.
It was funny because he was going to get new tires for
He
that.
probably taught us both a lesson on doing a burnout. Love that guy, man.
It was funny because he goes, well, I'm going to get new tires for the Z28 and stuff. He goes, let's go eat these things up.
Is that when you guys done the burnout over the bridge?
That's probably.
That was.
He's always eating the tires off that damn car.
He started that burnout out there by the subdivisions on, was that Maple Grove?
Yeah.
And came up onto the bridge, and at the time there was that little.
I remember doing
just ate the center of the tire out immediately. He drove it home, and I think he had like Pirellis or something on it.
And it takes a lot to burn a Pirelli up.
And he had to call his brother and drive to Columbus in his truck or whatever the next day and get another tire and wheel, or tire, put it on the wheel, bring it back so his dad didn't know. Even though that he's paying for everything, he just didn't want his dad to know that he had burnt the tire off.
The tour of.
He didn't burn it off. He fucked up and screwed it up. You know what I mean? When he come up on that bridge.
Well, you know, going up on that bridge, probably a little bolt hanging up.
Yeah.
It'll
Tires spinning 85,000 rotations a minute.
It was funny because we used to actually take bleach, not with Evan, but we used to take bleach and pour over.
On the bridge?
Well, over by there, you know where you used to sit over there, you know, have parties and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd get bleach, pour on the tires and pour on the ground and stuff. And dude, you talking about white.
Is that how they get the white smoke on that?
That's what we did.
Makes sense.
That's what we did.
Because if not, you're going to get, you never get the good white smoke.
Yeah.
I always wondered how they done that, actually.
But yeah, that's.
I feel like I need to go burn off the tires on my car right now.
I mean, we just.
Oh, my shit won't burn the tires off anymore.
I mean, we just drench it. I mean, you smell like acid, you know, from that damn.
You're talking about right there where the trestle was.
Yeah.
Right now they got the bike path there now and shit.
Yeah.
I was there one time back in high school, about the same time. Me and a bunch of the peoples, and the cops came and made us pour all of our beer out. I told them, I said, just take it. Just take the beer. Just take the beer, man. Just don't make us pour it out.
This is
man.
heartbreaking.
Yeah. I'd rather y'all take it, and at least I think that you went home and drank it. But if I pour it out here on the ground like this is just...
That's BS.
Blasphemy, man. Oh, man.
That's alcohol abuse.
Damn, Ossifer. Damn it, Ossifer. I'm all right. I probably shouldn't have drove home, but I can remember one time me and a friend, I was a kid in high school, about 16, 17 years old, scored like a bag of weed, you know what I mean? It was fucking, at that time, you know, you're happening. You got like 3 joints. I think we had 5 joints pre-rolled by like my cousin because none of us roll. And we get pulled over coming into Bourneville. And Shad Oyer had it in his pocket, like a shirt pocket, and the baggie was sticking up. And the police officer, I'm not going to say his name because I believe he's still alive, got us out of the car, took the bag of weed, opened it up, took 3 of the joints out, stuck them in his pocket, rolled the bag back up, stuck it in Shad's pocket, and told us to get the hell out of there. And we got in the car, and Shad said, "What do we do?" I said, "Get the hell out of here, man." Motherfucker just cut us a break.
Yeah, because you...
Yeah, I mean, we were like 16, 17-year-old kids.
Teaching you a lesson.
He took half our weed, yeah. I was like,
You boys don't need that.
The lesson is, don't trust the police, I guess, back in the 80s. Yeah, you might be able to trust them now. I don't know. Vote for whoever you want.
Peace.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah, what I like to do also, like during these little things, you know, like to pull out records.
Yes. What you got?
Well, I got a stack of records already set back.
Yes.
And, maybe give your thoughts on them.
Yeah, let's check it out.
If you have any thoughts on them.
I have a thought on everything. Might not be right, it might not be wrong, but
It's
it may be wrong, but it may be right. Just might be a lunatic, huh?
There you go. There you go. The cult.
Dude, I think I still got that hat.
Oh, you got a hat like that?
I wish. Dave Thompson can make it.
Yeah.
I think Ian Astbury is possibly one of the greatest vocalists of all time. Mm-hmm. And this album actually probably changed my life, man.
It's a pretty good record.
Yeah. Fucking Love Removal Machine was one of the greatest songs of ever. Peace Dog was all right.
Yeah.
But Love Removal Machine is fucking awesome. God damn, that's a sweet hat.
Yeah.
What is that, a skunk? What is that, a skunk?
I don't think it's a skunk.
That's a mink, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. But it's got the legs and everything on it. I swear to God, Dave Thompson can make a hat just like that.
Hell, they used to wear them to school.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And Jimmy and them. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What song was it on here? Memphis.
Memphis Hip Shake.
That's bluesy.
Yes. Dude, these guys were freaking great. And I don't think I ever seen them live. I really wanted to.
Yeah.
Ian Astbury was, I think that's his name, right?
Yeah.
He was, I always wanted to hear him sing The Doors, man.
Well, he
had that deep voice.
Well, he actually was singing for The Doors.
Really?
Yes. I mean, he's got that voice.
He's always had that deep. Like,
yeah. And that, because he cut his hair. And then, they got with whoever.
Loser.
Yeah.
Cut your hair, man.
Hippie.
Never cut your hair.
There you go. There's one.
I was on that fucking tour. I was the fucking drug tech on this one. No, I was not. This is Pyromania, man.
Yeah, he's joking.
This is when there's still two arms on the drummer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Dude, this album probably changed the scape of fucking hair metal forever.
Yeah.
And the fact that they took so much time, can you imagine putting that on a freaking album cover now? Oh my Jesus. There is no way that would sell in the US. But the fact that they took the time off to wait and progress and I don't understand why more drummers don't use
electronic drums.
His technique. I mean, can you imagine how good you could be with two arms using that setup?
Yeah.
There's a couple people I think that do it now, but it's just, I guess through adversity comes triumph.
Yeah. This is actually the first time I ever heard Def Leppard was this record.
Dude, this record is probably one of the greatest. It's probably in my opinion, their best album. Hysteria might have got a little more
airplay.
But this one has the hits.
Well, Hysteria has so much more sap on it.
Yes, yeah.
A lot more sap.
Pour a little sugar on me and whatnot, whatever.
I hated that song.
I despise that song.
Not a fan. I'm not a fan of that song. There's so many times I could have bought Hysteria. I was like,
you ain't got it?
No, I don't want it.
Yeah, I wouldn't get it. I mean, shit, you can buy it at a yard sale one day for like a quarter.
Or even $1.
Davis has got a lot of good ones on it.
Yeah.
I mean, the opening cut, Drop Till You Rock, man. That's
where it's at.
Yeah, that's just come right out with the hard shit. Bam! Hit him in the face.
There you go. The Cars, first record.
I love the Cars, man. I think Rick Ocasek was, I can still remember, I don't know, probably fucking maybe in junior high when the Cars was really hitting. And the video where he does the stumble across the fucking pool.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, man.
Was
Magic.
Is that Magic?
That's Magic,
Okay.
yeah. It might be, and he like fucking, he's walking and I think he like stumbles into the pool and then he just stumbles across the water and goes up the other side. Yeah,
Skipping a rock.
It might be Magic. I love the Cars, and I think that, in my opinion, they don't get enough credit, man.
Yeah.
Because a lot of their stuff was very good, but it was a little punky and weird and.
Yeah. Alternative type punk.
Yeah, people didn't really go onto the mainstream, like you know what I mean, like the one with Magic on it kind of did a little bit more thanks to MTV.
Yeah.
If it wouldn't have been for MTV, the Cars probably would still be lingering on cases in people's garages forever.
Yeah.
Even though they're one of the greatest bands ever to fucking come out.
Yeah.
And Rick Ocasek is probably the reason because of that.
Yeah.
Plus, like a good album cover. Look at that album cover, man. If that don't make you want to drive a car,
Fast or slow.
whatever, man. I want a fucking clear steering wheel, man. Where do you get a neoprene steering wheel like that?
I don't know. You can probably order them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Mike probably, Parsons probably knows. He's got a guitar like that. He got a bass like that, don't he?
I probably.
I think he does. He got a clear bass.
With 15 stacks of Marshalls.
Did you see his new?
Yeah, his new guitar at Schechner.
Is that a 7-string?
Yeah. That's sharp looking guitar.
Nice. It's fucking nice, man.
Yep.
I'll tell you one thing about Mike. He don't mess around
No, we don't.
on getting good stuff. That's one thing I can say. His stuff is top of the line. And if you're listening, Mike, I love you, brother.
There you go.
Molly Hatchet, the king of the covers. Look at that. I feel like I'm welcome to Valhalla after looking at this. I'm flirting with that disaster. Look at those fellas.
Some salty looking dudes on
Those are some good looking fellas in the 70s right there now. I'm telling you. When was this made? I'm going to guess about 78.
Should be down at the bottom.
I ain't got my glasses.
Let me see.
What you got on that? I'll say 78.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, if you don't like Molly Hatchet at this point in time, you were probably
79.
You were probably living under a rock.
At least.
Or maybe in the 8th cave out there on 7 Caves. Yeah. Because if you didn't have this album in your collection in 1980, bless you. This album probably changed a lot of Southern kids'
Yep.
or you know what I mean? I've seen these guys live.
Oh, have you?
I think who did I see? Molly Hatchet and dang it, man, I can't remember. I'm wanting to say, for some reason, I'm wanting to say Marshall Tucker. Maybe.
Marshall, I actually got to see Marshall Tucker.
Yeah, I wanted to say Marshall Tucker and Molly Hatchet at like Piketon.
Probably.
Like they had a little music venue there for like a year.
Yeah.
And
They got him.
they got Molly Hatchet and Marshall Tucker to play one night. And we went down and there was hardly anyone there. The place went out of business after 1 year. It was a great place. They just, I don't think they promoted it enough.
Yeah.
And I think they went a little big on getting like, I mean, even though it was the 90s, reaching out for Molly Hatchet probably cost a little dime at that point in time.
At least.
And, I mean, flirting with disaster, baby. Man, this is a good one.
Yeah.
Can I have it? No. You can buy one online.
Yep, they sell them. Yeah,
Dude, look at the cover art, though. Look at the cover art on that. Like, and this is back when the people were, like, nowadays, no one gives a shit what your cover art looks like because you're going to buy one line or song online.
Yep.
Back then, this meant something. Like, they wanted the best cover art. I mean, that's pretty good. What was the band from Cleveland? heavy metal, heavy metal is shit. And they always had the best covers.
What are you talking about? Mushroom Head?
I'll remember it here in a minute.
Because I know there was a band back in the 70s.
Like Grim Reaper or something?
Oh, no.
Was that?
They were an England band.
Was that an England band?
But there was a band.
Something kind of like them.
What, the Gods?
They were from Columbus, right?
Yeah.
Eric Johnson?
Yeah.
Rock and roll machine. The God's rock and roll machine.
Eric Moore.
Eric Moore, yes. Eric Moore. Yes. I'm sorry, Eric Johnson.
He's a blues player.
Yeah, sorry, Eric Johnson. Eric Moore was the God.
There you go.
What we got? Wasp. I think Blackie Lawless made it a point to freaking get a good cod piece in every photo. And I think the interview with Chris Holmes on the Decline of Western Civilization Part 2, the metal years, quite might possibly have changed my whole aspect of music and everything. When he's in the pool, drunk in leather pants, and is drinking vodka, just pouring it, and his mom is watching him, like his 65-year-old mom is
sitting in a lazy chair and stuff.
Watching him, like, yeah, Chris, yeah, sure, Chris, yeah, you're paying the bills, Chris. He is still like a great guitar player. Yeah. Chris Holmes is still a great guitar player, and quite possibly one of the best from this era. Mm-hmm. Blackie Lawless was the ultimate frontman. I think this band got a very underrated. I believe, in my mind, these guys should have been more popular than Motley Crue. They just didn't.
Oh, by a long shot.
They just didn't have the.
I'll tell you what I got. I'll show this to you.
You know what I mean? They just didn't have the. I guess the PR man. You know what I'm saying? The PR man to actually put them to the stratosphere that Motley Crue went to.
Yeah. Because
their music was way better, in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure Motley Crue will disagree.
Oh, they will.
But, I mean, the drummer didn't spin around in the air or nothing, but, hey, he could play the drums. And Chris Holmes is probably the baddest man in rock and roll ever. Yeah, Chris Holmes, baddest man in rock and roll ever. Blackie Lawless, best cod piece ever.
Well, speaking of...
you got a cod piece? Bam! There you go. If you don't think Blackie Lawless wears a good cod piece, then chew Big Red. Like an animal or like a beast. That was my favorite slow song back in the day. It was, yeah, fuck like a beast. Oh my God. Look at Chris Holmes. Chris Holmes looks scary.
We'll smack you upside the head.
Yeah, he just looks scary with a guitar. And then all them edges on them guitars, they hurt somebody. I put an eye out with them. I've got one of those things. But mine is, I hate to say this now after just dissing Motley Crue, like all this shit and back. I have a Nicky 6 replica guitar, bass guitar. So
you come full circle on that one.
Yeah, and I love it. I love it.
Did he really play bass on those records?
Yes. Nicky 6, well, as far as I know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it,
who cares?
It's not that. His bass, their music is pretty. I believe that the fact that they just surrounded themselves with Mick Mars. Mick Mars could play the shit out of things.
No, dude, it was probably the...
And Tommy Lee was a pretty good drummer. Yeah. He didn't have to do all that spinning shit. I think he just did it because he was high or whatever.
It's all theatrics anyways.
Yes, but...
That's what concerts are anyways.
You got him going, and you got Mick on the guitar. Mm-hmm. All Nicky's got to do is just keep the fucking backbone going there a little bit. That's in between. It's I can't remember. One of the drummers I played with told me, he said, your job is to bridge the gap between the drums and the guitars. Mm-hmm. because the guitars don't mix with the drums right.
They don't.
But you make it happen. You make that bridge.
Unless you play the garbage I play. Dun, 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 dun,
And
dun.
then it fits right in.
Yeah. It's funny because when we hear farting around that one time, you go, man, you're jumping around. It's like, I was like,
I thought I do, man. That's what I do. It was just, it was the first time I had ever actually played that style of music. I always wanted to.
all the heavy.
Yes. And thank God for Trevor.
Dude can hold that beat, bud.
Yeah, he kind of brought me into where I could,
Yeah.
and I had a good time, man. We need to do it again sometime.
Oh, I'd love to do that again.
Bring Trevor back over from wherever. Trevor from wherever.
I think he,
He's from Piketon.
yeah, he's from Pike.
Or Waverly.
But man, he's pretty good.
Yes.
Here you go, a golden oldie.
Dude, if this didn't change your life, I can remember my sister had a friend, and she was real pretty. My sister was pretty. Cheerleader and shit in high school. And she had a friend, and she gave me a bunch of albums when I was like 12. Kiss albums. This was one of them. And it was like a Blues Brothers album in there too.
That's a good record, though.
Yeah, so it kind of that kind of shaped me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The music I was listening to. Who knows at that time? Probably some lame shit. You know what I mean? And I think this girl was like, "Hey, man, your little brother needs some music, man."
So he seems a little lame.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to step up his music game. And she gave me like this album. There was like a couple Kiss albums and the Blues Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And she was, I had a crush on her. You know, she was a very pretty girl.
Oh yeah.
Marcia was her name, and very pretty girl, okay, long brown hair and stuff. And, you know, she was like 6 years older than me, my sister's friend. I was just a little kid, you know. They babysat me on the weekends and stuff. So I had like a crush on her. And she gave me these albums, and I loved them. You know what I mean? I thought, she likes me. She likes me. Yeah, she likes you because she's getting paid to watch you. She don't like you because...
Shut up.
Yeah, shut up, fool. You want some mac and cheese? Make it. But yes, this album also is what? Is this the last one with Bon Scott on it?
No, the last one was Highway to Hell.
Highway to Hell.
This here was our first one. This here was actually a compilation of their actual first two records they released in Australia.
Okay. Yeah.
They supposedly...
What would have happened if Bon would have lived? Would they have made it to the stratosphere that they did with Brian Johnson? Because, I mean, Brian Johnson is the
Back in Black's a good record.
ultimate frontman. I mean, he brings it.
Yes.
But I never got to see... My sister did. She went and seen him on Highway to Hell. And I kind of a little jelly on that one.
We should be.
I'm a little jelly on that one. But I was a little kid. So.
It's funny that we mentioned Highway to Hell. The first time that was mine.
To hold it.
Physical was a Highway to Hell 8-track.
Yes.
It's one of the best things. And before that, you know, I got the what was it? The Walk All Over You.
Wow.
And Touch Too Much on 45.
Ooh, Touch Too Much is one of my favorite songs.
It's an underrated song off that record.
Yes.
Of course, Night Prowler. It's so good.
A bad rap, thanks to Ramirez or whatever.
Yeah.
Wear one hat and kill a few people, and the next thing you know, the album gets a bad rap.
You know that one whole saying. Well, you know, you do this here in prison, and you don't.
My favorite is Dee Snider going in front of the Senate.
Yeah.
With the hair. And it's very, very, very good at speaking.
Yes.
I mean, they were expecting a stupid fool.
Yeah.
And what they got was Dee Snider. And Dee Snider is not a stupid fool.
No.
He is a very smart individual.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see Twisted Sister now that you mentioned it. I would like to see.
No more.
They quit?
Yeah, they broke up.
I think we can get them back together.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'd love to go see what.
I like seeing him.
JJ French, ain't he the guitar player?
Yeah, he's a good guitar player.
Yeah. Is it what, him and D don't get along or something?
You know how D is.
D's got so much shit going on anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, he released a solo record, I believe,
they're the only,
last year or a couple years ago.
They're the only band that can release a complete Christmas album.
Doing the
People
bangs.
buy it. They get
Bangs.
happy to get it.
And you know they got that Twisted Sister crunch to it. It's like,
Yeah, you're like, I love this album. Like, why don't they play this in the stores at Christmas?
I don't get that. Do you? They should have it in the stores.
Yes, always.
There you go. Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd, dude.
Metal.
Is this one? What we got here? Oh man, this is a good one. So, I've always kind of wondered, which I'm not really 100% sure on, when did Syd Barrett actually check out? Did they make an album or two with him?
Yeah, it's like their first couple.
And then, because I heard a song on the radio the other day, and they said it started playing, and I'm like, man, this is some good shit, you know. This is, and then I looked, and it's like Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not Pink Floyd. It's not the Pink Floyd I'm used to. But they said it was from like 1976 or something. It was like from their first album or whatever.
Well,
and I'm assuming that's Syd Barrett's time.
No. This here record was, this might have been the first one without Syd Barrett or Wish You Were Here.
Okay.
I think it might be.
I think, yeah, because they said that he just checked out.
Well, he was getting crazy with the drugs and stuff. And I think he was doing acid and all kinds of stuff.
Dude,
You know?
I mean, no, I've done enough hallucinogenics to party a whole festival for a year, you know what I mean? But I haven't lost my mind yet, so I wonder what actually happened to some of those guys. Like, did they get a bad, you know what I mean? Like, somebody made some bathroom shit that wasn't up to par, and they just went ahead and took it. And
Probably so.
next thing you know, you're living like a kindergartner for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And that's sad because wonder what would have happened. Said Syd Barrett would have made it. But then again, we wouldn't have got the Pink Floyd we got now. If Syd Barrett would have stuck around, Pink Floyd might have made another album and been done.
That's possible.
I mean, I'm sure
Because
that,
I don't think, like, say, this
I'm
record.
sure that Roger wouldn't have let that happen, but
Yeah. He's off his rocker. But, but you know, this record I don't think would have been as good with Syd Barrett or Wish You Were Here or even Dark Side of the Moon. You know, they may not have been as good.
Have you ever tried the...
or they might have been better.
See, that's what I'm saying. In an alternate universe...
Woulda, coulda, shouldas, you know.
In an alternate universe, Syd Barrett's the lead singer on this album. And we're not talking about it.
Act like he was never there.
Have you ever watched the Wizard of Oz with the Pink Floyd thing?
Yeah, with the Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
Dark Side of Oz. I've done it a couple times, and
It's crazy, isn't it?
it's weird how it fits. So I was like, they made this happen on purpose. I mean,
so?
they had to.
Yeah.
So I looked into it. I researched it, and Roger Waters said it is a complete accident. You got a bug on you. Roger Waters said it's a complete accident that they never had any intentions of that happening. At any point that it works, congratulations, but they did not write the album for The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Because I'll tell you what, it matches right up.
it does.
Perfectly.
How?
That's pretty good
How? And who was the guy?
I don't know.
Because you got to wait till like the last roar
Yeah.
or some shit. There's a point where you got to hit play.
Yep.
To get it, if you're off a little bit, it's off a little bit.
Yep.
And then you don't get the whole effect. Was it somebody told me to also check out, and they told me another album of Pink Floyd's, and I put it to it, and I'm like, no, this sucks.
Dark Side of the Moon just.
It's Dark Side of the Moon. Yeah. You can actually go. They used to have it at like theaters every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like on Halloween or whatever, where you could go watch The Wizard of Oz to the.
Because it's like when the album ends, you start it back over, then it just leads you right back into like a never. It's like, what the,
Yes, dude. Like,
it's crazy.
I am so happy that somebody out there at some point in time figured that out.
Yeah.
A little too much time on their hands, maybe not enough time on their hands. But you got the same people out there now doing their mashups. Have you seen any of those mashups?
Dude, they're good.
Who is the guy who sits around all day and figures out that Michael Jackson works with Waylon Jennings or whatever? You know what I mean?
There's one right here.
Or Diana Ross and Metallica or something. Like, how do you get them? Who's the guy?
What is it?
I'm proud of that feller. I wish I had time like that. Hell,
It's Judas Priest and
dude, I think
James Brown.
I think I had a ghetto blaster like that one right there when I was a kid.
What, like that one?
Yeah. Just like that one.
Yeah.
Up on my deal, getting ready to do some breakdancing.
Yeah, here it is.
Who is this? James Brown and.
Count it off. 1, 2, 3, 4.
See what this is? Look at James go, man.
I like a sex machine.
That's right on point, man.
Yeah, that's what whoever that guy who does that stuff, man,
Dude, he has got so much talent and so much time.
he killed it.
I'm wondering if he's got has come up with an algorithm or something that he puts in his computer where it finds two songs that match up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because how could you go through all that? Like, I mean, I went to a music back in the day. I don't know if you remember these, but they had these things called music stores.
Yeah.
I mean, you got one here now. But Sam Goodies.
Yes.
I think it was
FYE.
FYE.
Yep.
Was it Sam Goodies before that?
Yeah.
And then FYE. Yeah. So I go in there and I buy 2 CDs that day. Mm-hmm. Louis Armstrong. And I think the other one was Slayer. South of Heaven.
That's a good record.
And I lay them both on the deal. The Louis Armstrong Greatest Hits and Slayer South of Heaven. And the person picks them up and they look at him and they look at me and I was like, are these right? Are these right? I was like, what? And I looked at him and I'm like, yeah. It's like, ooh, what a wide range there.
It is.
Yeah, I was like, yes.
Yep.
I was going to buy Pantera, but you didn't have it. Sold out or something.
But a lot of people don't realize, it's the same. It makes you feel just as good.
I was getting the Armstrong one for, I wanted to learn all the lyrics for Mac the Knife.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
Of course, as before, way before YouTube.
Yes.
Way before YouTube.
Yeah. Now I just download chords and lyrics for Mac the Knife. It vibrated when I touched it.
And it kicks it right up.
Yeah. But then you had to go through some research to find that stuff.
Yeah.
And which that makes it easier for people today that's learning to play instruments. Mm-hmm. I mean, like when we were kids, you had to go out and find a book. Mm-hmm. And go through that bad boy and read and someone teach you. Maybe Brent could help you out on some of them, you know what I mean? Because he was way ahead of our learning curve on that stuff. And, but now you can just Google that shit, man. I mean, and you can Google actually lessons. Mm-hmm. You can download a lesson and teach you how to play.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever
you want. And it's so much easier for now's generation, and they don't take advantage of it, man. Some people do, but I'd say 80% of the kids that have this advantage aren't taking advantage of it. But the 20% that are probably going to be way more talented than kids from our generation. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that there's an unlimited supply of knowledge that they can find out. I mean, whoever they like, they can go probably straight. That dude's got a YouTube channel or whatever. We'll teach them personally on his channel. I mean, not one-on-one, but it's a video of him playing whatever song you want to know.
Yeah.
And if not, there's a guy out there that knows every note. And he can show you.
Right to a T.
Yes. Like, I went and seen back in probably late 1900s, when I seen Strutter, a Kiss tribute band.
Yes.
And me, Doug Davey, and Chris Atkins went.
Was that the Ross County Fair?
No, we seen them at Alrosa Villa.
Okay.
And they were better than Kiss at the time, because at the time Kiss was not wearing makeup.
Yeah.
It was that era. Thank God we grew up in the era where Kiss didn't have makeup on, right? The fuck, man. I got screwed on that deal. Krishna seen it with makeup. I didn't.
That's funny because my cousin, she
But
actually.
Strutter was better.
Yeah. But, you know, she got to see Kiss on the Destroyer and Rock and Roll Over tour at Cobain Hall.
Both with makeup.
Yeah. Way back when.
And we were in the middle there.
Yeah. Which was fine, you know.
Dude, it was cool, but the only thing I liked about seeing Kiss in the 90s was Ted Nugent opened up for one time.
Did we go to the same concert?
I think I was at the Ohio Center too, bro.
It was.
Yes. Oh, like Christmas Eve or
Was
something.
it Crazy Nights tour?
That was the Crazy
We were on
Nights
the
tour.
same, we went to the same show.
Yes.
It's a small world.
They freaking arrested Ted that night, I believe, for shooting the flaming arrow across the stage into the amp.
See,
As soon as he got done, they arrested him.
see that I don't remember that.
Because remember, Gene didn't blow flames there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an ordinance. You
Yeah,
can't-
fire ordinance.
But I remember, Ted, you know how the stage went, like from the bottom and wrapped
Yeah.
around back by the drums? It's funny because I remember Ted Nugent getting a big run, just down here. He jumped over everything.
Yes. With the freaking
Yeah.
tail and the...
Yep.
Dude, that was a great concert. Ted Nugent gets a bad rap because he's very political,
Yeah.
which I think Ted needs to shut the fuck up sometimes. But
Bingo. That's like, I
I'm
don't.
not going to hate him because of his political stuff, because that dude can play the shit out the guitar, man. That's what when people say, like, oh, I don't like Ted Nugent because of whatever he's believing in. I was like, but have you heard him play, man?
Yeah.
Don't judge him on what he believes in. Let's just judge this fella on his deal, man.
I mean, he did get a little crazy back in the 70s.
He's a little bit, I think I seen where he met Jimi Hendrix back in the day and had a big old freaking knife on his side.
Yeah.
You know, Ted Nugent did, not Jimmy, obviously. And Jimmy, in Jimmy's ultimate wisdom, is smoking a joint and offers it to him. And Ted says, no, I don't do drugs. And Jimmy said, but you'll carry that big knife on your side, but you won't smoke weed? And Ted Nugent said, don't quote me on this. Ted Nugent said, I think every man should be able to defend himself, and I don't want to do it high. So that's Ted Nugent's logic of thinking. Like, I'm going to carry a gun, and I'm going to carry a knife. Don't try me, and it won't be no problem. So I wouldn't try Ted. You know what I mean?
He's a little nutty.
He's a little nutty. You ever seen that hunting show he had?
Yeah.
I love that. Almost every episode. He brought like people on there and give them the Ted Nugent experience. I would have loved to have been on that show, man. Let me drive the Bronco, Ted. Come on, let me drive the Bronco.
That's the one that's, zebra striped? Yeah.
I got a story about that one. Okay. Right before I went to prison, I had a whole bunch of money. And I'm like Joe Dirt going through the fucking wheeler dealer or whatever. And I'm flipping through. Immediately, open it up to the four-wheel drives and the ATVs. You know, check both them sections. Right on the front of the deal when I pull it out, big picture of a zebra stripe Bronco. I'm like, looks like Ted Nugent's Bronco. So I get to reading. This dude's like in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Man, it is Ted Nugent's Bronco. And it was like 15 grand or something for it. And if you bought it, he was going to give you a guitar, autograph it, the Bronco and the guitar, and you got to meet Ted Nugent. And I'm like, let's go to Michigan, man. Let's go get this bad boy. I'm in.
Call him up.
So I go down to Dad's, and I'm like, dude, I need like $15,000. And he's like, well, what for? You know, what for? I'll go buy a Bronco. Well, you can buy a Bronco for less than $15,000. What year? Right? It was like 72 or something. You know, it was the old International Scout looking jobbies.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we can get one of them for like $2 grand. I was like, but dude, you can't get one that's zebra striped and autographed by Ted Nugent. And he said, well, we can't be flaunting our money like that. What the hell, Dad? I'm like, okay, whatever. I go home, and the very next day, he goes and buys a $40,000 pickup truck from the dealership. And I'm like, what happened to the flaunt the money thing, man?
The work truck.
That's what it was, a 4-door, 4-wheel drive. Yeah, it was a work truck. It wasn't flaunting. It was not flaunting, but I wanted to flaunt. Like, it was a Corvette and everything, a Harley and everything else sitting in my driveway. What's the difference in a big Bronco? But the moral of the story is, don't do drugs. Nah.
Or if you
Moral
do,
of the story is, buy Ted Nugent shit when you get a chance. I could have had that Bronco. It could have been, might not have been still in my possession, but it would have been around Bainbridge.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chillicothe area somewhere. Like Gary from Ernie's Foreign Salvage would have had it or something.
Didn't Todd Loman have a Bronco?
He had one of the Bronco 2s.
Didn't have like a built 302 in it.
I think so. Yeah, it was like jacked up and had like a 302 in it. Way too big for that little vehicle.
Oh my! Them things were narrow.
Well,
anyways.
Scoots had like a, I think he had a Mustang with like a built 302 in it.
I know Todd had one too, unless Todd bought it off of Scoos.
Might have been. I think he did. That little blue one.
That blue one was fast. You know, they
It's
actually
like a coupe.
yeah, the Fox body.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What was it? And the
Love
guy
the Fox
down the
bodies.
road who used to live down the road from us here, he ended up getting it.
Really?
He came down and gave me a ride in. He goes, man, look at this car.
Dude,
Just
that
bought.
thing was sweet as,
Fast.
it was sweet as all get out.
Fast.
Scooch's dad, I can't remember actually who built the motor. I want to say Bill Kazee is where that car come from. I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on that because I ain't said shit. Yeah, I just whipped off some rap shit there. But anywho, yeah, I think that's where that car come from. A dude from like Pike County named Bill Kazee, and he was known for
Race engines.
race cars. Yeah. He was a drag racer guy, and he built the stuff to run on the road,
Yeah.
and then he built the stuff to run on the track, and they were pretty close.
Dude. When he pulled out, he just sat there. Guys, when he took off, that car went sideways and just went straight
Yes.
straight to the
Suck the power down.
time we got this driveway over here, dude, we were running close to 90.
Made for the quarter
100.
trap. Made for the quarter. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's a Russ.
Yeah.
Get-
Easy down, man.
And I don't know if you remember Rush Jenkins.
Yes.
Yes. Dude's crazy. And he loved fast cars, but man, it's like, I hope he's not hammered. He would drink,
Yes.
he would drink his crown. It's like, oh,
Yeah, you're like, Aaron, come on, please don't be drunk today.
Yeah.
Not today.
it was funny. Well, it's not really funny. He came down the house and he goes, well, Dave, went to the doctor today. I went, yeah. What do you have to say? He goes, well, he says my liver's like sand. I went, you're what?
Yeah,
He goes,
you need that.
He goes, my liver's like sand. So Russ, he goes, I drink too much, Dave. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I got that part.
But, you know, I mean, it seemed like the drunker he got, he could work on a vehicle.
Well, probably calmed him down, you know what I'm saying? Like where you're...
Maybe he wasn't as shaky. I don't know.
Dude, I hate working on vehicles. I despise it.
Yeah.
Fucking grease under your fingernails, your busted knuckles.
Oh, yeah.
I can do it, but I just hate it.
I just think of the having hit to it.
I think he's finally learned his lesson. He won't work on shit. Like, you can do it, Hatfield. Get it in you.
I know. I don't
But
want
I got to change a deal on my Jeep right now, and trying to get this kid to do it from Bourneville. And he got the little skinny arms. I can't get up in there where it's at. Like, I borrowed a extension that's about this long, but it's got to have a swivel on the end and a certain socket. And I'm like, man, this sucks.
Yeah.
I need somebody that knows what they're doing to be on top, because you can see the bolts from the top. And you see the two bolts that you need. 2 bolts, that's it.
But you can't reach it.
You cannot reach it from the top. You can see them, you can touch them, but you can't get a wrench on them or anything. So you got to come all the way from like back by the transmission.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I swear to God, extension about this long.
Yep.
Just to reach these 2 bolts. But you really need someone up on top.
They guide it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've ever been involved in horse breeding.
No. Can't say I have.
This is something that it was one of these memories that I really wish I could have blocked out. But I was raised on a farm. Okay. We didn't have a bunch of horses, but my uncle raised horses. And I worked for him sometimes. He also had pigs. So we had the furring house with the pigs and whatnot. And then he had a stable with like some quarter horses, like the red ones, like expensive horses.
Yeah.
So he calls me up one day and he's like, "Hey man, I need help breeding this mare. Got a stud coming in. I need help breeding this mare." And I'm like, "Well, we just got to get her in, you know." He's like, "Well,
Yeah.
a little more than that.
Yeah, you
a little
do.
more than that." I'm like, "Well, this sounds as like it's getting weird." So I go over, and the veterinarian's there. We get the mare in and tie her up like to the, in the stall. And he said, "Okay, now your job will either be," so I get to pick my job. "You get to stand in front of the mare, hold her, halt her, and pat her on the face and talk to her. And
Caress her.
Sweet talk her. Or you get to stand at the back and guide the dick in." I was like, "Well, I'm going to go ahead and do the patting. Go ahead and get them arm-length rubber gloves on you, bud. I'm out. I ain't looking."
That's the vet's deal.
Yeah. Him and the vet both guided this schlong in, and I'm up there like, "Oh, girl, it's going to be all right. Ooh, girl, ooh. Oh, love you, girl. Love you. Sorry.
It's not me.
It's not me, honey. It's not me, honey." I was like, "Have y'all ever heard of artificial insemination, man? Like, come on, man." But then after I learned how to do that, it's not much better.
You do need them big gloves.
You do need them on that, yes. Becky asked me one time, she said, "So, you are a trained artificial inseminator?" I said, "Yes. I went to school at Cobain Select Sires, and I am officially trained to artificial inseminate cows, horses, pigs, sheep,
Anything on 4 legs.
anything in the farm." And she's like, "So that means you're a pig fucker." Well, we call it pig maker. But
You say potato, I say potato.
Yes, yeah. She said, "Well, how much do you get for that?" And I said, "Well, when I did it back in the 80s, it was like $200
A shot.
cow. Yeah, $200 a cow. So if you went to a farm and done 10 cows, it's like $2,000, man. And when you're like 19 years old,
$2,000 a lot of money. Dude, that's a lot of money now.
It's a chunk of change, man. Like, I was buying motorcycles and cars. You know? Gas was only like 87 cents.
Oh, that's good old days, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's when I bought my first Corvette. 1976 or 1975.
Nice.
Had the little back windows. I think it was last year they made the Stingray.
Yeah.
350, 4-bolt main. And as you talked, you'd be at a red light, kick that bitch up in neutral, and you'd feel it stand up, and the idle would pick up. And when you dropped it back into drive, it would suck down to the road and whoop.
That's crazy, isn't it?
And I was like, we're getting to launch this bad boy. So I'm in town one day, and I'm outrunning every fucking body because I'm like a 19-year-old kid in a Corvette. And
why not?
I got money. I live on the farm. I'm going to pay the speeding ticket. I don't give a shit. And this dude pulls up beside me in like a 1971 Nova.
Was it orange?
It was primer. Part of it was primer gray, and part of it was another color. Might have been the other part. Might have been orange, but it was primer gray, about half of it. And I'm like, whatever, guy. And he gives me the.
It's like, all right.
To check the light. I'm like, okay. All right, bud. And we're like on Bridge Street. That's probably a cruise Bridge Street from. The one shopping mall out to Zane Plaza, and I hit him on the first light, and it's close, man. I mean, it's close. I won slightly, but it was close. We hit the second light, which would be the one that now ends right by the Lowe's there. I don't think the other light was there yet. Yeah. And he beats me. And we pull up to that one, and I give him the like rolling out Bridge Street, dude. Like going over by the Mead. Yeah. So we go across the bridge. Both of us just wide open. Whoa, across the bridge. And when we get to the last light by the Mead, which takes you out at that time would have been to the Stardust. He cracks into it. I crack into it. And I mean, I leave this freaking dude. Like I'm a car length ahead of him as we're going underneath the where the shit goes over the Mead. We come around that corner, and dude pulls up beside me and peace signs me and takes off. And by the time I got past the other bridge by Cooks Hill, he was going. I don't even know if I think he might have hit 88 mile an hour and just went into another dimension or something. I'm pretty sure he had nitrous because he was just going. I was like, that is the fastest car I've ever seen. You know what I mean? And still this day, I can remember thinking, I had him. I was a car link ahead of this dude.
He was playing you.
He
played you through the lights.
Yes. He let me win that first one.
Yeah.
You know, a little false sense of security. And then, but I got him because later on I dated his daughter. Nah, not really.
Sounds good.
Would have been good on the story. But yeah, he was a sleeper. That was the definition of the sleeper. Like I said, the primer gray, a little Rudy Brown on there in some spots.
Because the reason why I mentioned orange and stuff, there was a dude who had like a 71, maybe 72 Nova back in the 80s when he was running around, and he had like racing slicks on that damn car. And dude, he was just absolutely mopping people.
It could have been that guy, man.
He may have got painted.
Yeah.
Or it might have been in between paints. I don't know. But man, it'd take off. It almost raised the front tires off.
I don't know where this guy brought the power from, but
he brought it.
He brought
the power.
And after watching, like now, you know, you can go online and watch street racing and stuff. And I don't really know if it's really street racing, but you see some of these cars, you would, like a farm truck, for instance.
Who would ever guess?
Who the fuck would guess that the farm truck is going to just haul your ass down the road?
What was that, like a 70 Chevy truck or something?
Yes, man, with like a humongous motor and nitrous. And
I think he's got a 454 now there, don't he?
that thing is unbelievable.
Fast.
Dude, they made, have you seen the dung beetle? They made the little Volkswagen. They got a little Volkswagen they made too that's like just bad as hell.
Fast as hell. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's sweet as hell when they take little vehicles or whatever. But these big,
I think my favorite one of them, they had their own show for a minute, and they take an old hearse, take the front seats out of them, and make costumes. Mm-hmm. So they're in, and they look like the front seats. So this hearse is driving down the road with nobody in it.
so they think.
So it looks.
Yeah.
And they're like pulling up next to people, and the people's like, looking like, what the? Boom. And it smoked. It smoked real bad. And there's smoke rolling. The cop finally pulled him over, I think, in the other side, just to see what was going on. And they got out with their little outfits on. Damn. Like, who gets paid for that?
Someone smart enough.
Asian and farm truck, man.
Well, I appreciate you coming
Brother, it has been a great time.
Yep.
Anytime I come over here is always a good time.
Yep. Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to come out, talk about
Well,
everything under the sun.
I went last night, played music for a while, and woke up this morning about half hungover. Went home. Actually stopped at Londonderry at the old donut shop there in Londonderry. Mm-hmm. Got some donuts, and they serve really good breakfasts there now.
That's good.
And got home, and I went to sleep. And I woke up, went downstairs, and Becky's like, what time are you supposed to be at Dave's? I was like, 4 o'clock. She's like, it's like 3:15. Oh, shit. I had my internal clock kicking there. So.
It happens.
And she's like, well, I was like, are you going to ride over? She's like, I'm taking Johnsy to work. I said,
Fair enough.
see you when I get home. But yes, thank you for having me. And
it was a joy.
I love being here. And always remember, people, support local music.
Yes.
Go to the shows in town. Go downtown, man. I don't know if you've been downtown lately.
Oh, yeah, it's booming.
You go downtown in Chillicothe, and they've got the Dora thing where you can leave a bar with your beer, walk down the street with this bad boy, and go to another bar. You can't take said beer in another bar.
Yeah.
But you can finish it and then you can leave that one with one. And there's so many little venues right downtown now that's actually supporting local music that you can go from like the Prohibition, where the old post office is on, Bridge Street, all the way down to like, I don't think you can get all the way to the Wobbly Ghost and Taylor's. But you can go like the Cross Keys and stuff down there, and then Main Street, and there's several different, like Old Capitol Brewing and the Axe Place, all have local music in there. Oh. And sometimes you go down there and there'll be like 3 or 4 bands playing.
I didn't know they had that at the Axe Throwing.
Yeah, they'll close off like one of the lanes and put a band in it, and
really?
like axes thrown right next to you while you're playing. Holy shit. Flap, flap. Yeah. Holy shit. But yeah, it's very nice. And a lot of the times it's local musicians. So it's nice to go down there and support them. And you get good drinks. And if you're there and I'm there, I'll kick your ass in Pac-Man at the arcade.
Good times right there.
Yeah.
All right, I appreciate everybody. It's going to be watching this here. Be sure to like, share, do all that good old happy stuff. And
my drink's empty anyway.
Be kind to one another.
Yes. Always be kind to one another.
Makes the world go.
Do unto others. You know what I mean? Yep. I don't want to be treated like a dick, and you don't want to neither.
Nope.
So, some people do that.
Oh, they love it. Well, once again, have a good one, guys. Later.